What up, YouTube? I have another video for you today. First, I want to remind you of the contest giveaway that's going on. That's sponsored by myself, Onyx, and CRKT Knife and Tool. The end date on that contest is November 30th, so you need to get your VRs in by midnight of November 30th. I will have a link in the description of this video. That way you can kind of look over and see what you need to do to take part. A lot of cool prizes, 2 knives per prize pack, 4 prize packs total, paracord gear in each prize pack, a lot of cool paracord stuff from Onyx, sharpening strap, and just a really cool prize package. So definitely click on the link in the description, that way you guys can take part. All those that have taken part so far, I appreciate it, thank you so much, and good luck to you guys. Okay. This video is pretty much about China knives. I'm going to tell you in this video what you can feel confident buying, who you should purchase them from, and pretty much kind of just ways to kind of if you stray off the beaten path as far as looking for China knives, what to look for. That way you don't get burnt up and you don't waste your money. So I'm going to go over a couple brands that I'm aware of. First off, it would be probably the number one would be Hinderer. This is a Hinderer 710. It is a clone of the Sebenza, the mini Sebenza, and a very inexpensive knife, but of great quality. When this first came out, there was a lot of bashing it because it was pretty much everybody was screaming it's a Sebenza knockoff or whatever. But since it's come out, a lot of people have said pretty good stuff. The quality is really good. It's a smooth deploying knife, and it's really awesome. This one's been pimped, by the way, but they come in all different styles, and if you purchase one, you won't be disappointed. Their fit and finish and quality are really decent. Like I said, for the price of $15 shipped to your house, this is a lot of knife for your money. It's pretty good, decent, small carry or whatnot, but pretty cool. If this is not to your taste, the cool thing about Hinderer is they do have a lot of knives in their catalog of knives. A lot of other clones. Also, they have a Mantis clone, a couple other things, but a lot of different knives. So that's a knife company right there. You don't have to worry about as far as getting junk. It is HCR 13 MOV. It is exactly that. It's not like some bonk steel. It's what they say it is. Most of their knives carry actual G10. And pretty good quality G10, so that's the other thing. Another knife company would be Enlon. This is an Enlon B EL06. Even though this knife is a lemon and a piece of crap, most of their knives are, this was just a lemon, like I said. Most of the time, their quality is pretty good. They use G10. All of this steel is what they say. And there's a lot of variety and selection with those guys. Next up would be this right here is a Hinderer clone, referred to as a poor man's Hinderer, and this is the Enron MY803. Inexpensive knife, about 15 bucks. Not a bad knife. Most people, when they get this, there's a little issue with fit and finish, but it's not too bad at all. And for the price, it's not a bad knife. For the price. Don't fool yourself though, because this is a far cry from the Hinderer. A far cry. The only thing it can share with the Hinderer is its basic shape, the profile. It's it's very thin, and besides that, that's the only thing it shares with it. Nothing else. And it's a flipper and whatnot. Pretty smooth. Like I said, fit and finish is hit or miss on that. So another knife company would be Gonzo. G-A-N-Z-O. I don't have one of their knives I used to, but I've since gotten rid of it. So that's another good knife company to go with. Where to buy them? And well, you can find them anywhere on eBay. If you use PayPal, you're protected. So if there's an issue with it, you can just dispute it and get your money back. If you buy overseas, and if it's a knife that's like under $15, it's not worth the hassle. You'll have to send the knife all the way overseas. It takes a month and a half to get your knife to begin with, and to send it back and have them to look at it and finally give your money back, it's just an absolute joke, and that's how they get away with selling garbage. So don't buy from a U.S. seller, and don't stray from the path. I'm letting you know right now. The 4 brands are the Senrinmu, Enlon, the Inron, and your Gonzo. Don't stray from the path. Just stick with those guys. If you see something else that's cool, if you have to, I'll let you know in a second what to look out for. So that's pretty much it. As far as who you should buy from, well, like I said, as long as it's a U.S. seller, you should be pretty cool. You'll get it in a reasonable time, 2 weeks max. If their shipping's any decent, just look at the reviews and shipping times and all that stuff. Do a little research on whoever you're buying it from, and that should be good. Don't buy overseas. Like I said, it's a big hassle if things go wrong, and it's a coin toss. But if you guys aren't familiar, there's a guy here on YouTube. His name is S.R. Jobin, and he has an eBay store. And the reason why I recommend him, I've purchased from him in the past. We're not buddies. We don't hang out. I live here on the West Coast. He lives over there. So it's not like this. I'm just trying to, help him out or anything. I'm just telling you that's probably the best bet. And the reason being, and why I came up with that, is that he has an eBay store. First off, his shipping times are he's very fast in shipping. Another thing too is his quality control, because not only does he has the knife in stock, but the only knives that he carries that he shows on his eBay store are anything that's worth anything. If he only gets the knives that the fit and finish are of decent quality. They're worth the money. So the knives that he shows there, you'll be happy with. Another thing also is he will go ahead and he'll do stuff. A lot of these knives come with funky fasteners on the pivots, and he can go ahead and modify them so that you can adjust the pivot or do whatever. He'll cut notches in there so you can put a flathead. He does a decent job on there. He'll also swap out washers for you. Instead of some cheap nylon washers, he'll put brass ones in there. He'll do whatever he can to smooth the action up. So they're already in pretty decent shape, but he'll make it exceptional. Deployment and stuff by adding his washers at a minimal price. He does acid etching and all kinds of stuff. He does wave mods. But if you check his store out here, I'll even show you his business card. You won't be disappointed. He's a fellow YouTuber. And why not help somebody that contributes to the knife community here on YouTube? So, with all that being said, like I said, there's a lot of junk knives out there. We could start. I could sit here. Garbage, piece of shit, garbage, excuse my language. You want to see more garbage, there's garbage there. Garbage, and garbage. These are all crap. M-Tech, I consider them garbage. I mean, they're, I have a few of them, and the fit, I've never had too many of them, or I never had one of a blade play yet, and I've used them for work and stuff like that, and I beat them up, and they do last, but it's just garbage. I mean, the money you would spend on this guy right here, and the reason why I say they're garbage is because the money you would spend on this one, or even this karambit or whatever, you can go ahead and they'll have something close to it, but way better quality in the 4 manufacturers I just mentioned to you, which would be, like I said, I'll say it again, Senrinmu, Inron, and Gonzo. So, so that's pretty much how I feel about that. If you find, because they do have a lot of freaky shapes and all kinds of, cool stuff. If you find a cool blade design, if you look at if you're shopping through eBay, another thing too is, you don't want to buy from AliExpress, because that's all overseas, and I don't think you could use PayPal, so you're not protected. They sell flat-out rip-offs, and their pictures are kind of on the blurry side or whatever, and a lot of times, if you have a chance to get a close-up on it, if it just says China, or stainless steel China, then the blade steel is probably junk. It's not going to be, I mean, if you wanted it for a novelty knife or something like that, okay, fine. But the blade steel isn't going to be worth anything, You're going to have issues with, lock rock, and you know, fit and finish is going to be garbage, and all kinds of stuff like that. So you're best off, just like I said, just don't go off the beaten path. You know, buy from a from a seller in the U.S. Make sure you always use PayPal. Another thing, clones, or I mean flat out knockoffs, guys. Because I know there, there's AliExpress, and there's what's the other one? There's another one out there too, and they sell knockoffs all over. Their Benchmade knockoffs, this and that or whatever. If you see the Benchmade for $35, it's probably not a Benchmade. Okay, it's probably a knockoff. You're not going to get the same. It's like hit or miss on quality and whatnot, and it's not worth the gamble, because 9 times out of 10 you lose. It's like walking into a casino and or a slot machine. You know, you're just going to end up, you're going to spend $30 and wait a month and a half or whatever to get this knife in the mail, and you're going to get it, and it's just going to be garbage, and you're going to end up with a pile of crap like you see in front of you. See that? I've already made that mistake and went through just out of curiosity. I mean, it was a learning experience, so I don't think it's a waste. And, you know, these knives, the only thing they're good for now is to kind of, I could sit here and I could play around with acid etching or stone washing or sharpening techniques or whatever, and I don't care what happens to these knives, so that's the only thing they're good for now. They're just garbage. If you look on, their website, I mean, this right here, they have these. This is actually a clone, but they all have these, and it'll say Spyderco Polywog, right? Spyderco Polywog, it's discontinued, has been discontinued for a long, long time. To buy a real deal Polywog, you're not going to spend any less than $150. You're not going to get any cheaper than that. So if you see one for $40 or $50, it's not a Polywog. Trust me when I tell you this. It's not. It's not. So, things that seem too good to be true usually are. So don't burn your money on that. So that's pretty much all I got to say. My opinions on clones is, it's a good way to kind of figure out whether or not you're willing to spend the big money on the real deal. That's my deal on that. I kind of share the same. If you watch the Gavco's got a video talking about clones and copies and this and that, and I share the same opinion that he has as far as that goes, is that I don't think it's taken away money from the original designer of that knife, because someone will purchase it, and if the shape and the design is to their likings, they'll save their money and they'll go ahead and buy it. Like he says, if they never had the money to buy that high-end knife and they bought a clone, 9 times out of 10 they wouldn't have had the money to buy. They wouldn't have the money to buy your knife. If they only have the money to buy, you were never going to get that money anyway. So don't be disappointed on that. And like I said, Gavco said it a lot better than I have, and that's pretty much how I feel about it. As far as flat out knockoffs, I don't. If you buy one, I'm not going to catch feelings if someone else buys one. I wouldn't buy one unless it was a clone of a knife, or it was a knockoff of a knife that I was seriously considering actually buying the real deal version of it, and there wasn't a clone already. If the only way I could kind of see and actually gauge the size, if it was going to fit the purpose that I intended it for, yes, I would go ahead and spend $25, $30, or whatever, to see if it actually would work, or the size and this and that, before I went ahead and spend the $400 or $500 on the real deal. Yeah, because I could go ahead and purchase that $400 or $500 knife and then just think, you know what, I don't know what I was thinking, it wouldn't work for me, or I really don't like it that much, and now I'm sitting with a $400 knife that I've got to sit there and get rid of, and unless it's a really highly desirable knife, I'm going to lose money on that. So anyway, that's my feeling on that stuff. This is just to help you guys out. All you guys are, getting into the collecting knives, or that, are kind of wondering about the China knives or whatever. This is pretty much just to let you know, or give you guys a heads up. That way you guys don't waste your money, because I don't want you to waste your money. So anyway, guys, like I said, I appreciate all the support, the subscriptions, the thumbs up, the likes, all that cool stuff. I appreciate it, and you guys take care. Peace.